All right, I'm saying goodbye, making way for the evening's repeat of the DBS Radio News in Review for 2025. Next time you hear the sound of my voice will be tomorrow. Don't forget, Trendsetter comes on tomorrow right here with me, 5 o'clock on DBS Radio.
Dominica in 2025. This is Dominica in 2025, the major stories which impacted Dominica in the year.
No bill for Jonathan! No bill for Jonathan! No bill for Jonathan! No bill for Jonathan!
Dominica in 2025, protest action broke out as Parliament debated 3 electoral reform bills. However, then acting police chief Davidson Valerie issued a warning.
Any protest action in Dominica on Wednesday, March 19, 2025 is unlawful.
The U.S. stunned Dominicans and Antiguans with a proclamation to restrict travel to the U.S. for non-visa holders.
At this time, the proclamation itself has not been formally withdrawn or suspended. Discussions are ongoing, and the government continues to engage U.S. authorities with the objective of reversing all restrictions affecting Dominican nationals.
The first ever Trade Union Congress for Dominica in 2025, and the Lighthouse Christian Academy student, Kennedy Barron, created history at the CXC exams.
And she set a national academic record by passing a total of 19 CXC subjects, the highest ever in Dominica.
Dominica in 2025 is brought to listeners through the kind compliments of Luxurious Luz, West Coast Cooperative Credit Union, Flow Dominica, the National Bank of Dominica, Jay's Bookstore, Ruben's Bakery, and S-Mart.
For all your shopping needs at the best prices in Dominica, shop at S-Mart. Shop smart at S-Mart.
Shop smart at S-Mart.
Can you get me some Lotto?
For my favorite
Shop smart at S-Mart.
I got a top-up, Flow, and digital.
Shop smart at S-Mart.
Sunday to Sunday.
Open on holidays.
Shop smart at S-Mart.
So much fresh fruit and produce.
Good quality service. Unlimited parking. All the best products at S-Mart. You get the best prices.
Shop smart at S-Mart.
Leo flush ukapon lodea overflow. Ha my friend pakiti lulu di bodea so. Ela ini bad manners and spela uni etwanje ka visite kayu. So come to Luxurious Luz at Conwall Street close to the vet. Telephone 4482410 or 2764289 and they will empty your septic tank for you. No septic tank c'est pas là mais apon tan qui plein Kodi Fatima espèce uni femme maya kayu. Of course Luxurious Luz provide portable toilets for public activities too. But what is extraordinary about them is that they are health conscious, environmentally friendly. C'est pas qu'on ugly will likini bagaya sous tête li kay jeti bod la mais all their waste is emptied at the Dowasco outlet. Call 82401 276 4289. This live unipo number 2 say yoki number 1 in the lumber 2 business.
This Christmas, bring home the joy with NBD. Apply for an NBD credit card or personal loan, and you could be one of our lucky winners in a special Christmas shopping spree. Celebrate the season with friends and family. Shop for your holiday favorites and make this Christmas truly magical. Make your season brighter. Visit any NBD branch today. For more information, go to nbddominica.com or call 767-255-2300. Hurry! This festive offer ends January 9th, 2026. Don't miss your chance to bring home the joy. Terms and conditions apply.
Here now is our first presenter, Tirella Alexander.
Search and rescue personnel from Dominica and Martinique reported that the wreckage of a missing 4-seater Cessna 172 aircraft was located. The aircraft departed Douglas Charles Airport at 3:46 p.m. on Sunday, January 26, en route to Martinique. The French civil security helicopter, which was made available in a joint search and rescue, spotted the plane in the mountains about 3 kilometers west of La Plaine. 3 bodies were identified on the crashed site of the plane. The Dominica Air and Seaport Authority stated that it was a sad day for Dominica and its French neighbors of Martinique. Residents of Soufrière were outraged when double murder accused Jonathan Lehrer applied to the High Court for his bail conditions to be adjusted to allow him to travel on medical ground. Lehrer and another U.S. national, Robert Snyder, were jointly charged in 2023 for the murder of eco-resort owners Daniel Langlois and Dominique Marchand in the Soufrière area. Residents of Soufrière protested outside the court, chanting, "No bail for Jonathan."
No bail for Jonathan! No bail for Jonathan! No bail for Jonathan! No bail for Jonathan!
That business of bail for Jonathan, the community is against that, and the whole community will be in danger if Jonathan will be bailed today. So we want no bail for Jonathan. No bail.
I'm here to support my nephews that working at Kulubri Ridge. No bail for Jonathan.
Lehrer was granted bail in the sum of $1 million with other tough bail conditions. Later, the police brought new charges against him for firearm importation and trafficking. He remains in custody at Stock Farm Prison. Former Director of Public Prosecutions, Evelina Baptiste, died in January. Ms. Baptiste, who served the court here and abroad over several years, died at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital of heart-related problems. Parliamentary Representative for Roseau South, Shakira Lockhart Hippolyte, a family member, said Ms. Baptiste's passing was a blow for the family and Dominica.
It's a really big loss for the family. My aunt was the first a child of Judith Baptiste and Thomas Baptiste. She meant everything to us. She was our go-to person. She was our lawyer. She was our cook.
The first homicide for the year was a Salisbury man. Siobhan Devon LaRocque received multiple stab wounds following an altercation in Salisbury. Al Carmen Burton was charged with his murder. LaRocque was not the only one who succumbed to injuries in January. Former custom officer Gareth Jolly was shot dead at Everton Estate in Loubier, where he resided. A Trafalgar man charged 7 years ago with the murder of his brother was reunited with his family in January. Eustace Williams pleaded not guilty with murder, but admitted to manslaughter. Director of Public Prosecutions Shoma Dalrymple said that based on the circumstances and evidence, it was a manslaughter case and not murder. He walked free based on the time served. Police reported that they seized the cocaine with a street value of $26 million. The drug squad unit of the police force led the drug bust operation in Cottage, which resulted in the arrest of a Colombian and Venezuelan. 24-year-old Liam Douglas of Maho died after he encountered difficulties at sea. Police said Douglas was swimming in the sea near the jetty at the time of the incident. He was transported to the Dominica China Friendship Hospital and admitted to the Alford ward, but succumbed to his injuries later. And Merita Hyacinth, former senior program officer in the Ministry of Education, was appointed Chief Youth Development Officer. In February, Dominica made another breakthrough in air travel when United Airlines announced its inaugural flight from New Jersey into Douglas Strauss Airport. Dominican Peter Codrington was one of the pilots operating the aircraft. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit said the flight was more than just a new route. He said it was a major change for Dominica's travel industry, creating new opportunities and breaking down barriers. The Dominica Labour Party launched its 70th anniversary, with leader Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit saying that the party owed a debt of gratitude to its fallen heroes.
From Phyllis Alfred to Isolo Black to Eole Blanc to Patrick John to Mike Douglas, Rosie Douglas to Pierre Charles. We stand on their shoulders and we will be celebrating these 70 years in recognition of their contribution and the contribution of so many people.
Dr. Gerald Jajac replaced Ambassador Felix Gregoire as Dominica's new ambassador to the OECS and CARICOM. Residents of Sam's Gutter in Marigot protested conditions of their road. The conditions were made worse by heavy trucks from the International Airport project at Wesley, but Parliamentary Representative for Marigot Anthony Charles said protest action came to an end within the hour.
A few concerned citizens in Sam's Gutter, they under the protest action for about an hour. They blocked the road to get the attention of the supervisors and the people in charge for CR5, which the director of MMCE, one of the director, Carl Murad, came and they rectified the situation with the residents, which are going to immediately fix the matter.
21-year-old Tanisha Balson of Fokani, an employee of Central Cooperative Credit Union, was crowned Miss Dominica 2025, with first runner-up being Alia Jajak of Canefield. The OECS title went to Dominica's Kiana Dyer, who beat St. Lucia's Tamika Deterville into second place. 14-year-old Gabrielle Esprit of Maho, a student of Convent High School, copped awards for Best in Spectacular Wear, Best Evening Wear, and Best Response to Questions to win the Miss Teen Dominica. Second runner-up was Hannah Joseph of the Dominica Grammar School. Danisia Newton of Jones Beaupier Primary of La Plaine captured the Carnival Princess title. Fifth form student of Portsmouth Secondary School, Chavez Seaman, Moxie Shervy, retained the Junior Booyah Monarch title. Moxie Shervy sang Elevate to defeat Josiah Fagan, King Zaya of Goodwill Secondary, into second place in the Junior Booyah competition. In the Junior Calypso Monarch competition, the winner was Faith Saintville, Queen Melody of the Dominica Grammar School. She dethroned Tice Faustin, Mighty T of St. Mary's Academy. Shanice won the Stardom of the 10th title with a calypso called Experts. She beat Trendsetter into second place. Meanwhile, Bob captured the Showdown Mass Camp champ of the camp. Lady S was in second place. It was also in February a Granby man died as a result of a traffic collision in Goodwill. Sherwin Brown, the driver of a Yamaha T-Max, succumbed to his injuries after he collided with a Honda HR-V driven by Janai John Baptist of Soufriere, who resides at Maho. The collision took place at the junction of Jeffers Lane and Rose Street in Goodwill. Police reported the suicidal death of 56-year-old Gifford Irish at his home in Castle Comfort. He was found hanging from a rope.
Dominica in 2025 is brought to listeners for the kind compliments of Luxurious Luz, West Coast Cooperative Credit Union, Flow Dominica, the National Bank of Dominica, Jay's Bookstore, Ruben's Bakery, and S-Mart.
Easy Max, get your money fast. Join the family. Call and find out now. You want that quick money to meet all of your needs. High speeds and top service. Easy Max family. Qualify for 7.5 or maybe 10,000. 2.0 is 15 grand. Easy Max, yours and mine.
West Coast Cooperative Credit Union presents the Easy Max Family Loans. Easy Max Plus of $7,500. Easy Max Pro of $10,000 and Easy Max 2.0 of $15,000. Yes, contact us today at 449-6556 or 449-9343 or 295-2682. Terms and conditions apply. West Coast Credit Union, your only credible choice for success.
This Christmas, Flow's making the season merrier when you add postpaid to internet. Unwrap a new smartphone for only $10. Plus, we're giving you 35% off your mobile bill and win even more goodies with our Spin the Wheel Christmas promotion. This Christmas, the rewards are on us. Add postpaid to your internet plan today in-store or visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, we keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
Raisin and coconuts and butter and fruits. You add them to flour and sugar and other secret ingredients. The result, my friends, wonderful raisin slices, coconut tarts and butter flaps, and great tasting butter bread, and fruit cakes and fine cakes, and rough cakes and coconut cakes. This is what Ruben's Bakery presents on a daily basis. That unique ability to tickle your taste buds using Fawin Fonds as a main ingredient. From Fawin Fonds to lapat to bonbon, to slices and tarts and pay mastiff, and jacquerie and rolls and more. Ruben's Bakery, the bread quarters of Lapat. From this, the bread quarters in Newton, Charlottesville. It is distributed to hungry mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and grannies and all. Sometimes with milk, sometimes with cocoa or cime comptoir. Some like it brown, some like it hard, some like it soft. Some like to soak it in the bread with tea. But the bonbon, oh, the raisin slices and coconut tarts are a new addition to the Ruben's fleet. Listen to El Difa. I have a passion for Ruben's bread and bonbon. Ruben's Bakery, making magic with Lapat all the day long. Joycelyn dit, mon été petit sel, Jésus te connaît, c'est Jésus la maman était cassé vient par la porte, il a été levé les bon matin. Because celle li vite aller l'école et puis c'est un canpad exercise book, 16 pages. Là vient standard 5 appear students companion, an atlas and a geometry set. Jésus bookstore, you many revolution en éducation à Dominica. Yes, too long here you got your educational materials from Jésus. Avec moi ça do surely and positively. Chaque monde qui graduate, chaque monde qui vient docteur, nurse, avocat, n'importe bitin à Dominica, Jésus had something to do with it. Jazz need greeting cards, stationery, gift sets and gift items. Aussi pour tout jeune monde, Jazz wants you to know, education is the key that will unlock all your doors.
Disturbances broke out in Dominica as government passed 3 electoral reform bills in Parliament. The Electoral Reform Coalition said prior to the passage of the bills, they would demonstrate outside Parliament to show their disapproval over the bills. The then acting police chief Davidson Valerie warned that any protest action staged outside Parliament would be illegal.
I wish to inform that no permission has been sought from the Chief of Police. Neither has there been any permission granted by the Chief of Police for any protest action. Therefore, any protest action in Dominica on Wednesday, March 19, 2025 is unlawful.
The instructions by the acting police chief did nothing to prevent the heat outside Fortium Hotel. Police barricades were dismantled and clashes between police and protesters took place. Minister for National Security Rayburn Blackmore condemned the actions of the protesters and said those responsible for the violence would be held accountable.
The perpetrators who are responsible for this mob must be dealt with quickly and swiftly, and they must be held accountable under the relevant law or laws of this country.
Within days, the impasse took a new twist as protesters were being arrested and charged in connection with the March 19 clashes. Among those arrested were former parliamentary representatives Hector John and Danny Luge and Freedom Party Chairman Johnson Boston, Nurse Rosie Felix, Attorney Ronald Charles, and UWP leader Dr. Thompson Fontaine. They were all released on bail. 25 people in all were charged as the police continued their investigation into the disturbances. In March, double murder accused Jonathan Lehrer was denied bail on a firearm trafficking charge. The U.S.-born was charged with firearm trafficking on January 15, and on March 6, his attorneys petitioned the court for bail, arguing that the charge was only brought against him by the prosecution after the High Court granted him bail for the murder charge. Ronaldo Luke reports.
Magistrate Loader emphasized that the court must consider the risk of the accused absconding and the need to preserve public order when deciding on bail. He stated that there were no conditions which a court could impose to guarantee that Lehrer would surrender for the preliminary inquiry on April 22nd, 24th, and 25th, 2025. The magistrate also noted a rise in violent crimes linked to firearm and drug trafficking, posing a serious threat to public safety.
Taxi operator Kelvin Trevor Albert, known as Langsal of Scotzed, was remanded in custody on a charge of murder.
The complaint stated that between March 1st and 9th, 2025, at the corner of Hanover Street and King George V Street in Roseau, Albert murdered Andrew George Pinard, male 69 years of Newtown who resided at Bellevue Road. Reports indicate that a physical altercation between the two men over $20 led to Pinard being admitted to the intensive care unit at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. He later succumbed to his injuries on March 8, 2025.
The former president of the Dominica Hucksters Association, Cecil Joseph, passed away in March. Police investigated 2 separate murders early in March. Colin Nicholas of Granby was shot dead on March 2. Jefferson Skerritt of Benaravine Canefield was stabbed to death on March 3. And Thaddeus Macpherson Winston was discovered dead in a Jimmet residential area on February 27. A 27-year-old man of Massac died in a road collision. Lindy Madder, the pillion rider of a motorcycle, succumbed to his injuries sustained on Goodwill Road, adjacent to Dewitt Center. Former banker Joy became the second Dominican woman after Tasha P. to win the Calypso Monarch title. Joy was clinical in both rounds in the finals and put the title beyond other contenders with her second composition, The Ground That We're Walking On. Dice, who was in search of an 11th title, was first runner-up. Trendsetter was named Road Match King with DPP. Africulture Stilt Walkers were named Band of the Year. The Police Welfare Association announced it completed successful negotiations with government for salary increase. Deputy Leader of the United Workers' Party, Senator Delbert Paris, resigned in April after being elected in December 2024. Senator Paris made headlines in March when he supported certain aspects of the electoral reform bill in Parliament, while his party was protesting the bills outside Parliament. In 2024, Paris challenged Dr. Fontaine for the leadership of the party, but lost. Minister for National Security Rayburn Blackmore announced the appointment of Lincoln Corbett as acting chief of police and Jeffrey James as acting deputy. The appointments became necessary as acting police chief Davidson Valerie proceeded on pre-retirement leave. Mr. Blackmore said Valerie was outstanding as a police officer.
Let me take this opportunity on behalf of the government of Dominica to thank Mr. Valerie for his extraordinary service to country. Certainly anyone who has served in that capacity, and he served 49 years with distinction and with the highest degree of passion, and we wish him well.
Chief Executive Officer of the International Airport Development Company, Samuel Johnson, announced in April that the project would reach a new phase with the construction of landside facilities. He said this was an exciting stage of the project.
The landside facilities, that includes the buildings that support the airport. So that will be your terminal, your FBO facility, your cargo facility, your hangar for aircraft maintenance, air traffic control, firefighting.
The government of Dominica made good on its promise to Olympic gold medalist Thea Lafour-Gatson. She received the title for a property at Warner. Minister for Housing Melissa Skerritt formally handed over the certificate of title to Mrs. Lafour-Gatson. In April, the country made another giant step towards the development of a medicinal cannabis industry. The inaugural meeting and launch of the National Cannabis Advisory Committee took place at the Roseau Fisheries Complex. Minister for Agriculture Roland Royer said government has shown commitment to the medicinal cannabis industry.
The rapidly evolving landscape of the cannabis industry is both an exciting opportunity and a challenge for the government of Dominica. Hence, the overall objective of the government's focus on cannabis cultivation is to create, through institutional reforms, investment and incentive, an environment which is favorable for farmers and agro-entrepreneurs to develop high-value products.
Former OAS Director in Dominica, Paul Brown, was laid to rest in April. Mr. Brown was the husband of prominent broadcaster, the late Charmaine Green Brown. The Dominica Cancer Society elected a new president. Jacqueline Andre replaced Yvonne Alexander. The Dominica Grammar School team of Renee Talbot and Zadi Trocad beat the Orion Academy to emerge winners of the Inter-Secondary School Debate Competition for 2025. The best speaker was Renee Talbot. In April, 3 members of a St. Joseph family were charged with the murder of a 70-year-old. Ronaldo Luke followed the matter in court.
The complaint of the police alleges that between April 8th and April 10, 2025, in St. Joseph, 20-year-old Dranai Cook of St. Joseph, residing in Bellevue-Chopin, and 19-year-old Dranaya Cook of St. Joseph, murdered 70-year-old Obed Cubal Nicholas. The men's father, 58-year-old Gibbs John, also appeared before Magistrate Michael Loda, charged with the murder of Nicholas.
30-year-old Kimon Emmanuel died as a result of a shooting incident in Roseau. 42-year-old Daniel Nasha Fontaine of Marigot was killed. The mother of 7 children was discovered in a residential area in Marigot. The suspect's home was set on fire after the incident. And the IMF said in April Dominica's economy was projected to grow by 4% in 2025.
Dominica in 2025 is brought to listeners for the kind compliments of Luxurious Luz, West Coast Cooperative Credit Union, Flow Dominica, the National Bank of Dominica, Jay's Bookstore, Ruben's Bakery, and S-Mart.
Islindi mon la ite petit sel Jay te connaître c'est Jay la maman ite ka servir par la porte li ite levé les bon matin because celle li vite ka aller l'école et puis c'est un canpad exercise book 16 pages la vi un standard 5 it appear students companion an atlas and a geometry set Jay's bookstore you mène une révolution en éducation à Dominica yes tout long année you got your educational materials from Jay's avec moi ça do surely and positively chaque monde qui graduate chaque monde qui vient docteur nurse avocat n'importe bitin à Dominica Jay's had something to do with it Jay's need greeting cards, stationery, gift sets and gift items. Aussi pour tout jeune monde, Jay's wants you to know, education is the key that will unlock all your doors.
Hello, Mama. What's your plan for today?
Well, I just want to pass by S-Mart to pick up my diabetes tablets.
S-Mart? But Mama, S-Mart selling snacks and groceries, not those many.
No! The new S-Mart pharmacy I'm talking about.
S-Mart have a pharmacy?
Yes, not too long they open. They have all kinds of medicine there. The price is good. They even testing your pressure for free. And they have drive-through too.
Drive-through pharmacy? Well, I'll check you. We'll pick up your tablets in the S-Mart pharmacy drive-through.
S-Mart Pharmacy, the new warm and convenient pharmacy in town, located in the S-Mart parking lot. Experience care and convenience like never before.
Raisin and coconuts and butter and fruits. You add them to flour and sugar and other secret ingredients. The result, my friends, wonderful raisin slices, coconut tarts and butter flaps, and great tasting butter bread, and fruit cakes and fine cakes, and rough cakes and coconut cakes. This is what Ruben's Bakery presents on a daily basis. That unique ability to tickle your taste buds using fawin fonds as a main ingredient. From fawin fonds to lapat to bonbon, to slices and tarts and pay mastiff, and jacquerie and rolls and more. Ruben's Bakery, the bread quarters of Lapat. From this, the bread quarters in Newton, Charlottesville. It is distributed to hungry mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and grannies and all. Sometimes with milk, sometimes with kakao or sime cotois. Some like it brown, some like it hard, some like it soft. Some like to soak it in the bread with tea. But the bonbon, oh, the raisin slices and coconut tarts are a new addition to the Ruben's fleet. Listen to El Difa. I have a passion for Ruben's bread and bonbon. Ruben's Bakery, making magic with Lapat all the day long.
Our second presenter is Karim Bertrand.
In May, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit announced the appointment of 60 non-established workers from various departments. He said the appointments would enhance the status of the employees.
People working for 23 years, 24 years, 25 years, and not appointed. That limits the ability to contract loans in the financial institutions for them to build their homes and to advance their family. And so what this will do is that it will automatically get them appointed. We'll also take into consideration some of the years that they've served, so it will ensure that when they retire, they can get a gratuity and a pension.
Several contractors in the various communities were engaged, as contracts valued at $5.2 million were signed under the Emergency Agricultural Livelihood and Climate Resilience Project. Among the contracts signed were rehabilitation of the Whitey Kabuli National Trail and works at the Fonkole Fish Landing Site.
It's indeed a pleasure to be part of today's ceremony, bearing witness to the signing of 11 contracts that will positively impact the lives of many families involved in agriculture, fisheries, and the tourism sectors. These investments, totaling $5.2 million, represents just a portion of the significant efforts being made towards the development and modernization of Dominica's agricultural sector.
Seneca Primary School student Kiara John beat 9 others to capture the Felix Henderson DBS National Reading title. The result was a proud moment for her mother, Royat John.
She's generally a child who is always determined to do things. So initially when they said the other student from our school couldn't participate anymore, she said, okay, well, she would be willing. So she decided that, okay, she wants to do it. So I said, all right, I'm behind her, I'll support her. And so because of her determination, she succeeded.
It was also in May, Dean of the Rosa Cathedral, Father Nigel Karam, issued a stern warning to the country's youth to refrain from taking matters in their hands. His statement came during the funeral mass of Kimon Emmanuel of Goodwill, who succumbed through gun violence.
Do not go and enter into the spiral of violence and revenge. Revenge is not the answer. Revenge will never be the answer, because all it causes is more death and more grief and more violence and more death and more grief and more violence.
It was also in May that Director of Public Prosecutions Sherma Dalrymple discontinued a matter against two brothers who were charged with murder.
Chassery Thomas and Gary Thomas were jointly indicted for the murder of Stockley Antoine, also of Petit Savan. It is alleged that on September 26, 2021, at Ravenshall, Petit Savan, the two men inflicted stab wounds on the 41-year-old, resulting in his death. Attorney Joshua Francis, who has represented the accused men since the beginning of the case, consistently argued that the incident was one of self-defense. Both men had pleaded not guilty to the indictment during their arraignment, and the matter was set for trial. However, on the day scheduled for the commencement of the trial, the prosecution informed the court of a notice of discontinuance filed by the DPP, effectively bringing the proceedings to a close.
And the 28-year-old of Belfast, Maho, was remanded after being charged with multiple criminal offenses, including murder.
Duran Sebastian appeared before the chief magistrate, formally charged with the murder of 30-year-old Iman Kimon Benjamin Emmanuel. According to the complaint, the incident allegedly occurred on April 27, 2025 in Roseau. Sebastian was also charged with the attempted murder of Cheyenne Sabroch, stemming from the same incident. Police previously reported that on April 27th, both Emmanuel and Sabroch were shot in Roseau in an area commonly referred to as Washington Block. Emmanuel succumbed to his injuries while Sabroch was hospitalized.
In June, 12-year-old St. Martin Primary School student Amelia Stephen of Newtown was declared the outstanding student of the Grade 6 National Assessment.
So we have Amelia A.K. Stevens, St. Martin Primary. We have Peyton N.M. Healy, Petit Savan. Kasnaya Kazimi, Newtown Primary. Kinaya Riviere, St. John's Academy, and Eliana Girodel, St. Martin's Primary.
It was also in June that Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit announced that education reform among primary schools would get underway. The government of Dominica held a series of consultations at the State House Conference Center with education stakeholders where education reform was discussed.
But the system that we have was tailored for a particular point in time. That point in time has long gone. And if you realize this is not a Dominica specific challenge or concern, it is a regional and indeed an international challenge where countries are talking about reforming the system to making it more responsive and adapting it to the present challenges of the world.
As education reform was being discussed in Dominica, electoral reform entered a new phase with the signing of a $3.4 million agreement with a company from Belgium. The agreement was signed between the Electoral Commission and Simlex Company for the provision of a voter identification system and software to facilitate the process of voter confirmation.
The electoral registration and confirmation system developed by Simlex is designed to ensure the integrity and inclusivity of the electoral process. It involves the deployment of mobile registration kits to reach remote and unserved populations, thereby promoting the voter empowerment.
It was also in June that former parliamentary representative for Salisbury, Hector John, was appointed new deputy leader of the UWP. He replaced Senator Delbert Paris, who resigned. Former Minister for Agriculture, Thomas Etienne, died in June. He served as Minister for Agriculture in 1970. He was accorded an official funeral. A police officer was granted bail in the sum of $30,000 after he was charged with drug possession and trafficking. Daryl Etienne of Point Carib pleaded not guilty. 35-year-old Skeethy Abraham of St. Joseph was discovered dead near the beach in Mero. A Fauncolly man, Norman Ronald, charged with the December 3, 2018 murder of Haitian national Melanie Dijon at the Roseau Market, was found guilty. In July, Finance Minister Dr. Irvin McIntyre presented a $1.2 billion budget to Parliament. The package contained measures to address the cost of living. He said the government would take a decision to remove the value-added tax and the custom duties on several goods. He said government would move forward to implement the minimum wage, and public officers and police would have access to a new loan facility for home ownership. Dominicans reacted to the budget presentation.
Well, I think it's a wonderful budget. Agriculture, especially our farmers, are going to be very excited. All the port development that is coming through, the marina, the international airport.
Well, I believe that the Minister of Finance delivered a comprehensive address touching on all of the important segments of the economy.
Very, very happy with some of the utterance of the Minister of Finance in his pronouncement in the budget, the additional support that is pledged for waste management.
You know, well put together. I think there is something in it for